In the financial year 2021-2022, tax arrears have increased from 4.8 trillion to 5 trillion in the financial year 2022-2023, with government agencies accounting for the largest portion of unpaid taxes. Over the years, the Uganda Revenue Authority has painted a picture of resilient economic performance, ignoring illegal acts like tax abuse that have gone unchecked for long. My name is Adam Mayambala. This is the Revenue Tax Alert. Chisenyi, downtown Kampala. A hustle and bustle as people elbow to make ends meet. For the past 30 years, Simon Bidandi has been trading animal feeds in here. Bidandi mixes local products like silverfish, soya, sunflower and cotton to make animal feeds for sale. However, the business has faced several ups and downs.
Atenga biri organic kati emmere y'akalungo by the way tesoboka eri waggulu eri mu bbeeyi ate akalungo kajjudde eddagala lingi.
Animal feeds industry has been struggling to survive. It majorly attributes its downward spiral to importers of concentrates in the country. Concentrates are animal feeds that are rich in energy and are designed for optimal animal performance.
When the importation of concentrates came into Uganda, when they're not facing to have to pay any taxes, you understand that the value chain is being affected. People are no longer going in the fields to plant soya. People are no longer going in the fields to plant sunflower, cotton, and other elements. Silverfish, it becomes also a problem.
Since 2017 to date, there's been gross illegal acts of importers of concentrates by avoiding payment of taxes. The abuse is as a result of misclassification of concentrates as premixes under the East African Community Common External Tariff, which attracts import duty of 0%.
They don't pay taxes, they like government, they bring premix, they imported premix, of which is wrong. Because this is a feed, not a premix. It is a mix of which we mix in the feed.
The classification of concentrates in the Common External Tariff in the East African Community is not there that you would say there is a word called concentrate. So all the countries in East Africa treat concentrates as premixes because that is what is specific, premix. And a premix is anything that is mixed before you feed it to an animal, either an animal or chicken. So a concentrate is in the category of premix.
It is a loophole that these companies have used to request for import exemption, but yet they should be VAT reliable.
Many animal feeds factories in the country have eventually collapsed because of this unfair competition.
Already in the country there's an existing industry that is growing. Then you dump on them elements that are not taxed. In actual sense, you're killing your growth.
To deepen the abuse of taxes by importers, they misused VAT exemption customs procedure code 478 to exempt themselves from payment of 18% VAT of all their inputs until June 2023. Since July 2017 to September 2022, a total of 231 billion remains uncollected. Top officials at the Revenue Tower affirm the fact.
We never collected that money, and we don't see how we can even collect it.
Emmanuel Semugenyi is a taxation don. He breaks it down for us.
So when they went ahead to classify them as premixes, it means now they were putting them in the category where they will not incur tax on it. And according to the taxman, that can be called smuggling, because misclassification either happens by ignorance, negligence, or you can do it deliberately. So this is not acceptable.
He said, how can we pay taxes on a raw material? That's what they were saying. So are we feeding the concentrate to chicks directly? So they objected from that time. So that's when Parliament got involved. Parliament of Uganda got involved, our ministry got involved, and they guided us.
NBS investigates can't qualify whether it's negligence, ignorance of deliberate moves by the taxman to protect this abuse of taxes, But what we are sure of is who the importers are and who is giving the illegal actions a go-ahead. Let's start here. The importers in question are Cowdice Uganda Limited, Agrivetis Uganda Limited, Impact Sales Uganda Limited, Champrisa International Limited, Conversion Feeds Limited, Farm Factory Uganda Limited, Stedet Uganda, Royal Agravate, Essential Drugs, NA Agro Center Limited, Jubilee Agrotech and Bukola Agro Industries. URA has safeguarded many of these companies from paying taxes. They show you how much protection they are enjoying. We've seen, read and verified many correspondences between URA, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Agriculture on the tax treatment of imported premixes, concentrates and animal feeds. Several of the importers received demand notes from URA for unpaid taxes. Cowdice SMC is the first importer we delve into. On 20th September 2022, Cowdice Uganda SMC Limited objected to the demand notice, raising concerns regarding enforced collection of taxes on imported concentrates.
We had to consult the ministry, our mother ministry, and our mother ministry said that is a policy matter which has to be agreed on in Arusha. All the countries of East Africa have to agree on it, on the issue of import duty.
URA Commissioner General John Musinguzi on October the 25th, 2022 responded to Cowdice Uganda and guided as follows. I quote, "This serves to inform you that Uganda Revenue Authority URA will not undertake any enforcement measures against you to the taxes assessed on imported concentrates." The Commissioner General so guided.
The ministers of East Africa sit, the technical teams sit for all the countries. They are the ones who will say, okay, now from what we've heard from Uganda, I think concentrate should be under other. Or we split and put a line and write the word concentrate. Wow. So how would you expect now URA to collect that man? How? Even if who will pay it anyway? So that is, I think, the controversy around it. I don't know why. Maybe we had not got time to explain it.
Cowdice Uganda brands as delivering high-quality animal feeds, exporting premixes, concentrates and specialties internationally, mainly in Europe, Africa, Middle East and Asia. Sadly, they are listed among those avoiding taxes.
We are in close contact with URA, we are in close contact with the ministries to make sure that whatever we do is according to the regulations. So whenever taxes need to be paid, we pay them directly.
In a recent development, the State House Revenue Intelligence and Strategic Operations Unit received information about this irregularity and intercepted 3 containers belonging to Cowdice Uganda. The taxman has to recover 100 billion Ugandan shillings from Cowdice Uganda.
We don't bypass, we pay whatever we need to pay, we pay all our taxes. Actually, as Cowdice, we are a big contributor to Uganda in terms of paying tax. And actually, I'm a proud taxpayer in Uganda.
The law is clear. The imports are exempted. So the only problem was in the wording.
I mean, the 10%.
Yes, it's clear that farm inputs should be exempted. So any person that wants to use it against, they're using it for their own benefit.
But because people are playing with the terminologies and the loopholes in understanding and interpreting the law.
That was a normal compliance check by our officers on their desks when they are doing desk audits, like I've told you. So when they did compliance check, they said, oh, I think this concentrate should fall under other, interpretation. So the assessment was raised by URA anyway. The assessment was raised by URA. So when it was raised, the client objects. There were many clients, they objected to it, and that's what actually sparked the consultations.
On 20th September 2022, another importer, Agrivetis Uganda Limited, objected URA demand notice reference CUST-T-3-41 and raised concerns regarding enforcement measures against them. In his mandate, the Acting Commissioner General Dennis Kugonza Kateba guided, and I quote, "Uganda Revenue Authority would not undertake any enforcement measures against you." Close quotes. This response from the Commissioner General's office was given to most of the importers to misuse the VAT exemption customs procedure.
By 2017, concentrates were taxable supplies, and we are expected to pay a 10% import duty as well as 18% VAT.
The only issue which could be handled quickly was the one of VAT, because there was also that saying that you should pay 18%, but the law was amended already. It is not paying anything. That shows you government's interest even in amending the law was not to charge anything on what? On concentrates, because it is a raw material for making animal feed. So why would you charge it?
Leave out the new amendments that have happened, and even if amendments happen, laws don't work retrospectively, they work prospectively. That even if they amend the law today, and for you committed an offense yesterday, you are expected to pay following the due date effective when it was applicable.
There should be someone here to explain to us. The issue of animal feed concentrate is going to have an effect on products. These are eggs, this is beef, this is pork, because it's going to increase the cost. It's going to have an effect on the economy.
I don't want to talk something I am not sure about. Maybe my officers, do you know about that subject?
Can URA impose a tax without your knowledge?
No, what we are saying, in relevance, we know, of course we know what we know, but I can't talk on something that I have not studied properly, because I may say something that may be off track.
Do you have a technical person here who can guide us?
Dating back in October 2022, the Parliamentary Committee on Tourism, Trade and Industry received a petition raised by Kasita about unfair taxation. The committee held meetings and received a number of verbal testimonies, but what was odd is that the importers falsely informed the committee that URA was undertaking an exercise of reclassification of concentrates. They erred in raising the petition with the Parliamentary Committee.
The URA has reclassified concentrates, and now they must pay a certain tax. And we believe URA cannot take a decision without the guidance of the ministry. So really, Honorable Minister, you should be able to respond on this matter, because this committee is drafting a report.
URA needs to wake up. It needs to look into working with the people within the industry. It needs to explain to us what they need, and we show them how we can work and develop together, because the purpose of URA is to develop Uganda. But you cannot develop Uganda when you are disadvantaging Uganda to grow.
This was a public issue. It was even in Parliament. There are letters to that effect. You can find out. They are there. There are reasons why we are not able to collect. There are even letters stopping us from continuing with the collection because of the objections that came and the consultations, like I've told you, that are going on.
Most of these importers tend to import what we can produce locally. And when you import what can be produced locally, you're creating unhealthy competition on local farms.
Eventually, the pinch is being felt among the entire chains of farmers, manufacturers and animal feeds producers across the country.
To stop them, because we are not working for ourselves, working for the other importers and the people who is big in the government. They bring things in our country. They get the more profit, them, not for us.
The government, through relevant agencies, departments and ministries, should ensure that they support these local farms that are producing exactly what these importers are doing, to avoid these challenges that are imported an item and is produced locally, it is not in the second schedule, it is vatable and so on.
We can guide on policy, and we say there are a lot of imports, maybe for concentrates, maybe they might outdo the local manufacturers. Then the ministry can come up with a policy, and then Parliament can come up with a law. But otherwise, to say URA should impose charge because you want to protect, I think we would be doing it illegally.
This Uganda Revenue Authority has, regardless of the outcry, defended its position that concentrated feeds and premixes are different, hence must be treated differently for tax purposes.
These foreign companies will come make money, take their profits back home. So there is no necessity to empower such tendencies and growth. It's about time that these things stop.
However, On 28 October 2022, the Attorney General gave his opinion stating, and I quote, "Concentrates and others that fall in that category are not exempt supplies. Concentrate is not an exempt supply or input under Value Added Tax Act. I beg to submit." Officials at URA claim the Attorney General's guidance was shelved and never reached their desks.
The guidance from the Attorney General was, first of all, not copied to us. I think the people who sought guidance from the Attorney General was a committee in Parliament. And so we are not privy to that guidance which they gave the members of Parliament.
This matter indicates how importers fail to follow procedures outlined in the East African Community Customs Management Act 2004, and it has been allowed to go unchecked, causing gross revenue to the government. But in recent developments, the State House Revenue Intelligence Strategic Operations Unit has opened this cold file, expressively indicated its concerns to the Commissioner General, Uganda Revenue Authority, and offering further guidance. Ensure tax collection of Ugandan shillings 231 billion for period July 2017 to September 2022. Compute and demand all taxes due to the importers in question for the period October 2022 to date. Address the issue of misclarification of concentrates for all current consignments being cleared through DPC. All imported concentrates must pay 10% import duty as per the CET subheading 2309.90.90. The honors are with the enablers at the URA Tower.
How would you collect? Okay, who is going to collect it even if it was you, not URA? How would you collect it? Because the issue is under consultation until we get the guidance in the law, in the common external tariff, and it is amended. Like now they have amended the VAT and whatever. That's when URA can come and say, okay, maybe this money can be collected. But at the moment, legally, I don't see how it is tenable.
Adam Mayambala, NBS Investigates.